Welcome to the Acura Advantage and to this special Service Advisor program. With the introduction of the new SLX, Acura adds a whole new dimension to its line of high-performance luxury automobiles. Rugged, dependable features like its all-aluminum 24-valve V6, a rigid box frame chassis, steel skid plates, shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive, power fold-in mirrors, and over 90 cubic feet of cargo space make the SLX a true competitor in the hotly contested sport utility vehicle market. As sport utility vehicles, or SUVs, become more popular, customers are demanding more luxury and convenience features, and the new SLX delivers, with a long list of amenities including dual airbags, heated leather seats, power windows and door locks, a 100-watt sound system with a 12-disc CD changer, side mirror defoggers, integrated fog lights, cornering lights, and 5 square feet of moonroof. Some SLX components are similar in design to those used on other Acura vehicles, while other components are quite different. Service advisors need to become familiar with the systems and technology of this new vehicle. This program differs from the technician video in that it provides more of the information you need to know when dealing directly with the customer. In this program, we'll review the body and interior features. We'll take a look at the engine, along with the fuel and emission system. In the next section, we'll look at the transmission and drivetrain, highlighting features new to Acura, like the shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive. We'll look at chassis components like brakes and steering. We'll have a segment on general service and care. And we'll end with some useful pointers on fixing it right the first time. That's the single most important factor to high CSI scores and repeat business for your service department. Before we get started, remember, as a service advisor, one of your biggest challenges will be to determine if a customer complaint is based on a system malfunction or if the customer is just not familiar with how that system works. How you explain the situation to a customer is just as important as solving their perceived problem. When you demonstrate the proper technique, be as tactful as possible, and always make sure you check the system completely so that if there is a real problem, the customer won't have to come back. Let's start where your customer starts, with an overview of the interior and exterior features. Many of the questions you'll be asked about the SLX will probably deal with how to operate the extensive array of comfort, convenience, and safety features. The more familiar you become with the operation of these systems, the more confident you'll feel explaining these features to your customers. The SLX is available in 2 trim levels, the SLX and the SLX Premium. Standard features for each trim level are listed in the SLX brochure and owner's manual. It's always a good idea to review these materials carefully. Just walking around this big, stylish new vehicle, you'll notice some of the more obvious differences between the SLX and other Acura models. For additional cargo space, the spare is mounted on the larger of the 70-30 split rear doors. Both doors can be opened for loading large or bulky cargo. The rugged SLX features a rigid box frame chassis built to withstand some serious off-road use, and comes with a skid plate that helps to protect the underbody from rocks, branches, and other off-road hazards. Your customers may have questions concerning the operation of the integrated halogen fog lights. They operate only when the headlights are on and the low beams are in use. Some customers may try to use them independently and find they won't work without the headlights. They also shut off when high beams are selected. Let's take a look at some of the other features and talk about questions your customer may have. From the outside, inserting and turning the key in the driver's or front passenger side door lock will unlock that door only. turning the key again in less than 3 seconds should unlock all doors. Inside, each front door has a power door lock switch that unlocks and locks all doors and the tailgate. The driver's door also has a master power window control panel with switches for all 4 windows and a one-touch express down feature for the driver's window. This lock switch controls power to the passenger windows. With the switch in the off position, the passenger windows cannot be raised or lowered, even from the driver's control panel. Passenger comfort and safety depend on proper seat and steering column adjustment. The SLX front seats have 2 power adjustment controls located on the outside of the seat bottom. Push the long horizontal switch forward or back to adjust distance from the steering wheel and pedals. Seat height can be adjusted on the driver's side only. Pull up and push down on the switch front to move the front edge of the seat bottom. The rear of the switch moves the rear of the seat. Pulling up and pushing down on the center of the switch raises and lowers the seat. The rear switch on either front seat adjusts the seat back angle. Along with power adjustments, the front seats also have individual seat heaters operated from the center console. The forward labeled heat warms the seat to the desired temperature. The rear edge, labeled keep, maintains that temperature. The front armrest can be lowered by raising this knob. Releasing the knob will lock it in any position. The armrest can be raised without using the knob. Split rear seats individually recline up to 40%. Or fold flat into tabletops. By unlatching levers at the back of the seat cushions, both rear seats can be folded completely forward. They're secured with bands in the center console. This configuration provides over 90 cubic feet of total cargo volume. A covered storage compartment, tie-down hooks, removable cargo net, and retractable cargo cover all make cargo storage safe and convenient. This sound indicates that the driver's door is open with the key in the ignition. There's a similar warning that chimes when the driver's door is open and the headlights are left on, even if the key has been removed from the ignition. The windshield wiper and washer controls are on the right stalk. The rear window has an intermittent speed washer wiper system. Controls are located on the right side of the dash. The steering tilt lever is on the left side of the steering column. Push the lever up to position the wheel and release it to lock it in place. There are 3 switches that relate to the side rear view mirrors. The first adjusts side mirror position. Another operates the mirror defogger. And a third, available with the SLX Premium package, operates the side mirror folding feature. Which comes in handy when driving through thick brush or tight parking spaces. The dome light is a one-touch design. Tap it anywhere and it comes on. It also has a time delay switch that turns on when any of the doors are open and begins to dim about 3 seconds after closing the door. The map lights are focused for each front seat area. Here in the map light housing, you'll also find the switch for the moonroof. This large moonroof covers over 5 square feet and opens up the SLX for both front and rear seat passengers. To open the roof, move the switch to the rear. It stops at an intermediate position. You'll need to release and repress the switch for full opening. For safety, the moonroof stops before closing fully. Again, release and repress the switch for full closure. The sunshade can be slid to the desired position by hand. The heater and air conditioner controls function in the usual manner, but you may get questions about using the AC without the fan. On this vehicle, the AC will not operate without the fan control knob in one of the on positions. The rear window defogger has an automatic shut-off timer that cancels the system after about 30 minutes, or when the ignition is turned off. The SLX is equipped with a 100-watt AM/FM cassette stereo system with electronic tuning, 6 speakers, and a telescoping power antenna. The optional 12-disc CD changer is located in the cargo area on the right rear wheel well. The entire vehicle is protected by a built-in anti-theft system. When the doors are locked from the outside, an indicator light on the dash will illuminate. When the light goes out, the system is activated. Any attempt to manipulate any lock mechanism without the key will activate the alarm, which includes the horn sounding and headlights flashing for 3 minutes. To turn the system off, unlock any door, including the tailgate, with the key. As part of a total safety package, the SLX features a supplemental restraint system, or SRS, with both driver and passenger airbags. The SRS unit is located in the center of the vehicle, behind the upper instrument panel. The safety package also includes an energy-absorbing steering wheel and column, knee bolsters, child-proof rear door locks, and a number of structural and material features that are designed to redirect or absorb impact. Both front and rear passenger seat belts have a special locking mechanism for securing child seats. When fully extended, the lock mechanism engages so that the belt can retract but not re-extend. It returns to normal operation when it's fully retracted. Each rear door has a child-proof lock near the edge. In the locked position, the door cannot be opened from the inside, regardless of the position of the lock tab. The SLX is powered by a single overhead cam 24-valve V6 engine that produces 190 horsepower at 5,200 RPM. Sometimes customers have questions about idle speed, what's normal and what's not. Characteristically, when started cold, the engine will idle fast. As it warms to operating temperature, the idle should drop to about 800 RPM. This is a low-maintenance engine with self-adjusting valves. Hydraulic tappets located in the rocker arms operate directly on the valve tips to maintain the correct valve clearance. The SLX uses a sophisticated engine management system. While in many ways it's similar to the PGM-FI systems found in other Acura models, it's important to remember that it's not identical. The most important difference is that on the SLX, the electronic control module and transmission control module have been combined into a single unit, now called the powertrain control module, or PCM. It's located under the dash, directly in front of the center console. The SLX system uses multiple technology fuel injectors with ball-type injector valves. These low-impedance injectors are designed without injector resistors. Current is controlled by the PCM. The director plate determines the spray pattern, and as the ball rotates on the seat, the injectors clean themselves, making them resistant to carbon buildup. Spark is provided by 6 ignition coils, one for each cylinder. Some of the sensors in the SLX system differ from those in typical Acura systems. The throttle valve adjustment is factory set and cannot be adjusted. The MAP sensor incorporates a barometric pressure function to adjust fuel trim at startup and during high load, wide open throttle conditions. The mass airflow sensor is similar to the system introduced on the 2.5 TL. A hot wire and thermistor in the sensor housing are used to measure the volume and density of air entering the air intake manifold. The hot wire is heated to a set temperature. Air passing through the sensor cools the wire, and the amount of current it takes to maintain the set temperature is measured as the output voltage of the sensor. The PCM reads this voltage to calculate air flow and air temperature, and determines fuel requirements accordingly. A camshaft position sensor, located on the upper left portion of the timing belt cover, in front of the left camshaft pulley, sends a signal to the PCM when the number 1 cylinder is on top dead center of the compression stroke. The crankshaft position sensor is on the right side of the engine block. The permanent magnet generator senses crankshaft speed and can measure variations in speed at different points of the crankshaft rotation. This information is used for misfire detection, as mandated by OBD2 regulations. If a misfire is detected, the system will store a diagnostic trouble code and illuminate the malfunction indicator lamp on the dash. Other OBD2 mandated systems, such as canister purge flow, catalytic converter and oxygen sensor performance, and the exhaust gas recirculation, or EGR, flow monitoring, are similar to the Acura systems that you're familiar with. As with the misfire detection system, if a problem is detected with any of these systems, the PCM will store a diagnostic trouble code and illuminate the malfunction indicator light on the dash. As with other recent Acura models, you can use the PGM tester with the data link connector. The SLX is equipped with an electronically controlled 4-speed automatic transmission that features a lock-up torque converter clutch. Unlike other Acura vehicles, the SLX transmission uses planetary gear sets consisting of a sun gear, 4 planetary gears, the planetary gear carrier, and an internal ring gear. The principle of operation is simple. By locking one element and applying power in and out on the other elements, it's possible to achieve various gear ratios and reverse. Clutches and bands lock and release the planetary gears and allow the transmission to shift from low to second to third to high or reverse. As we mentioned earlier, both the engine and transmission are controlled by a single electronic control unit called the PCM. The electronic control allows this transmission to offer different settings for special driving conditions. Some of your customers may have questions about the use of the power and winter buttons on the console. In the power mode, shift points occur at higher RPM. This mode improves performance, especially when the vehicle is carrying a heavy load or when pulling a trailer. A power drive indicator light on the dash reminds the driver that this mode has been selected. The winter mode is used to reduce tire slippage in snow or on ice. It may be activated at speeds up to 6 miles per hour with the shifter in the D position. In this mode, the transmission will start out from a stop in third gear, and a winter drive indicator light will illuminate on the dash. It's important to note that the PCM will automatically cancel winter mode if the driver shifts into low, second, third, or park, when vehicle speed reaches 19 miles per hour, or when the ignition key is turned off. The transmission also has a system failure backup mode. If there's a significant electronic malfunction, the transmission indicator light on the dash will be illuminated. The driver can manually shift gears using the selector lever. In this mode, if the driver leaves the selector in D, the transmission will remain in fourth gear. If you get a call from a customer on the road with his backup mode indicator light illuminated, let him know that he has to shift manually and not to exceed 65 miles per hour. Driving the vehicle in this condition won't damage the transmission, but he should bring it in as soon as possible. The four-wheel drive SLX uses a gear-driven transfer case that allows the driver to select one of 3 driving ranges: two-wheel drive high for normal on-road use, four-wheel drive high for traveling through light snow or on compacted dirt, or four-wheel drive low when extra pulling power is needed for more severe off-road conditions. In two-wheel drive high, power is transferred directly from the transmission main shaft to the rear output shaft at a 1-to-1 ratio. In four-wheel drive high, the front output shaft is engaged and power is transferred to both the front and rear output shafts. In four-wheel drive low, power from the transmission main shaft is routed to a transfer cluster gear assembly. The smaller output gear on the cluster shaft now drives both the front and rear output shafts. With this gear reduction system, the transmission main shaft is turning faster than either the front or rear output shafts, giving the SLX the power to churn through snow, mud, and the most severe off-road conditions. With older four-wheel drive vehicles, the driver would need to step out of the vehicle and manually lock the front hubs to use the four-wheel drive. The shift on the fly system allows the driver to select between two-wheel drive high and four-wheel drive high while the vehicle is moving at speeds up to 60 miles per hour. Let's take a look at how this four-wheel drive system works. The driver can access four-wheel drive by shifting the transfer lever to the four-wheel drive position. Inside the transfer case, the triple cone synchro mesh brings the front output shaft up to speed with the rear. A series of electrical, vacuum, and mechanical systems lock in the front axle shift on the fly assemblies, and the four-wheel drive indicator light on the dash will be illuminated. Shifting back to two-wheel drive, the shift on the fly assemblies on the front axles are released and the transfer case synchro disengages. The four-wheel drive indicator light goes out. To engage four-wheel drive low, the vehicle must be completely stopped. Like other models in the Acura line, the SLX comes with anti-lock brakes. While you may be familiar with most of the components, the high-profile sport utility vehicle has different stopping characteristics and therefore requires a different system design. The ABS system on the SLX has 3 prominent characteristics. It's a 3-channel select low system with yaw control. 3-channel means that both front brakes are controlled individually, while both rear brakes are controlled together. The select low and yaw control features help improve driver control when the vehicle is on a road with uneven grip surfaces, such as when the left wheels are on a solid pavement and the right wheels are on loose gravel or snow. Select low refers to the mode of activating ABS control on the rear wheels, activating the ABS based on the wheel with the lower rotation speed and traction. That's why it's called select low. An uneven grip surface will also result in greater braking pressure to the front brake on the low grip side of the vehicle. The yaw control refers to the way the electronic brake control module, or EBCM, controls the front ABS circuits to inhibit yaw. That is, sudden swings to the left or right, caused by this uneven grip. Let's look at the location of the components. On this system, the hydraulic unit and solenoid valves are located behind the right headlight. The EBCM is in the lower central instrument panel. Wheel speed sensors are located on each wheel. A G sensor is mounted on the center console, and there's an ABS light on the dash. The EBCM checks the wheel sensor circuits every time the key is turned on. It also briefly operates the hydraulic unit and cycles the solenoid valves every time the vehicle moves from rest. It's also normal for the ABS light to come on when the vehicle is started. If the light stays on, the EBCM has detected a problem. The system will store a trouble code and the ABS will be deactivated. The vehicle should be brought in for service as soon as possible. Remember, the ABS is a separate system. You can assure your customer that this condition does not affect conventional braking. If the light blinks twice or stays on or off, the problem is in the light circuit. It's also important to note that if the wheels have been rotated with the vehicle on a hoist, the EBCM may diagnose a false fault and illuminate the anti-lock light. Stopping and restarting the engine should clear the problem. Unlike other Acura vehicles that utilize rack and pinion steering, the SLX is equipped with conventional power steering. The recirculating ball type steering system has an extra rugged design to withstand the rigors of off-road driving while isolating the driver from road shock and wheel vibration. For further information on the Acura SLX steering system, see the technician's SLX new model video or the service manual for more details. As a service advisor, an important part of your job is to help your customers protect their investment by reminding them about the need for general service and care for their new Acura SLX. An SLX that's been properly maintained will be less expensive to operate and will hold its value through years of dependable use. Helping your customers protect their investment means being familiar with the maintenance intervals and service schedules as outlined in the owner's manual. One of the most basic and most important preventive maintenance procedures is checking fluid levels. The fluid reservoirs on the SLX are easy to reach and clearly marked, but customers should be reminded to use the fluids recommended in their owner's manual. It's also important to remind them that overfilled fluid levels could affect the operation of some systems. Procedures for checking both motor oil and transmission fluid are pretty standard. The engine requires premium rated motor oil with an API rating of SG or SH. The automatic transmission should be filled with Dextron 3 ATF. The radiator reservoir on the far right side of the engine compartment requires a 50-50 mixture of genuine Honda coolant and clean water, while the brakes require the use of genuine Honda brake fluid. The SLX uses Dextron type ATF fluid in the power steering, which is different from the fluid used in other Acura models. The battery has a built-in test indicator. Blue means the battery is in good condition. If the indicator is colorless, charging is necessary. Windshield washer fluid can be added to the reservoir in the left front corner of the engine compartment. The rear windshield washer fluid reservoir is located inside the left rear cargo door. Front tires are properly inflated at 30 psi, while both the rear and spare tires should be filled to 35 psi. Customers should be encouraged to read their owner's manuals carefully. And there's a lot in here for you, too, like new car break-in procedures, detailed instructions for the audio system, anti-theft system, and other features that were covered just briefly in this video. Reminding your customers about the importance of following the recommended service schedule will not only help them to protect their investment, it also helps you to build a stronger and mutually rewarding long-term customer relationship. For some of your customers, the SLX will be their first Acura, and this will be their first opportunity to experience the high standards of customer service that are so much a part of the Acura heritage. At the beginning of this video, we talked about the concept of fixing it right the first time. In a recent study, J.D. Power and Associates, the people who compile your CSI scores, found that fixing it right the first time was the single most important factor in customer satisfaction. When a customer has to return to the dealership for the same problem, CSI scores drop dramatically. Avoiding comebacks takes a lot more than just technical competence. It requires a team effort. And as a service advisor, you're a crucial part of that team. Along with scheduling appointments, greeting the customer, and explaining the work to be performed, it's your product knowledge and communication skills that allow you to write up a detailed repair order. The better your repair order explains the situation, the better chance the technician has of fixing it right the first time. In this video, we've taken a close look at many of the body and interior features that your customers may have questions about. We've reviewed key elements of the engine and fuel and emission system that are different from current Acura models. We've covered transmission and drivetrain features new to Acura, like the shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive. We've looked at chassis components like the 3-channel select-low yaw control anti-lock brakes and the recirculating ball-type steering configuration. We've reviewed general service and care requirements. And we've covered the importance of fixing it right the first time. More information about the new SLX is available in the product brochure and the owner's manual. A more detailed explanation of how each of the systems works is presented in the Acura Advantage new model video developed for the technicians and in the service manual. If at all possible, it's a good idea to take an SLX out for a test drive. That'll help you become more familiar with how the vehicle handles, how it sounds, and how it feels. That's important. Remember, after the sale, you're the primary link between the customer and the dealership. Your product knowledge about the new SLX will be the key to higher CSI scores and repeat business for your dealership. The SLX is a welcome addition to the Acura line of fine automobiles, and it provides an opportunity for you to show new Acura owners the meaning of total luxury care.